Hello and welcome to this second tutorial video for the Theme-O-Matic. In the previous video we learned how to make themes for a simple object and test them. We used the preparation scripts to create a few themes for this mesh bench that allow changing the textures for the upper and lower parts of the bench. Now in this second video I will leave the preparation mode and learn how to use the themes with some of the client scripts that ship with the Theme-O-Matic. Here we are taking our project just as it is out of the first tutorial video. I only renamed the object. Remember that we created 4 themes, 2 that switch the textures in the upper faces of the bench, and another 2 that switch the textures in the lower faces. Up to now we were using the Test Theme button from the preparation menu to activate those themes. It is time to enter the production mode. It's all the more necessary because all the scripts involved in the preparation phase are all non-transferable. So the first thing to do is open our objects inventory and remove all the preparation scripts, that is TOM preparation, TOM generator and TOM utilities. So we are only leaving the TOM core and the theme node cards. The TOM core will do nothing unless another script asks it to do something. It will not by itself react to someone touching the object or listening to a chat channel or such things. This was designed on purpose so that unwanted interference with other systems remains minimal. To command the TOM core, we have to have another script called the client send it a message. The Theme-O-Matic ships with a number of clients, all described on the website, that offer several means to control the application of themes. However, it is rather easy to write your own client if you feel the need to, or add the required functionality to your own scripts. All required information is readily available on the website. For a quick test, let's first try the TOM-SC Simple Cycle script. This script manages no menu or anything complicated. It will just cycle through the themes when the object is clicked. So this is appropriate for small setup, when you have, for example, a limited number of textures or colors that you want your customer to switch just by clicking the object. Let's just equip our bench with this TOM-SC Simple Cycle script by dragging it from my own inventory into the object's inventory, and note that the SC part of the script name just means standard client. Note the warning message that appeared in the local chat. Before we click the object, let's first open the newly installed script to understand what is going on. Note that all the standard client and interface scripts are provided full perm so that you can study and adapt them if you want and change their settings. Here we just have one setting to pay attention to. Here, near the beginning of the script, you can see a setting called prefix. As you can guess from the name, all the theme node cards that will be considered by this client script should begin with the text enclosed in double quotes. This makes it easy to separate theme node cards from configuration node cards, for example, like the AVPOS node card we encountered previously. You can also easily determine the order by which themes will be cycled by just renaming them with a number, for example. Let's just leave this setting untouched and use the theme dash prefix to rename our 4 theme node cards. Be careful, spaces and uppercase letters count. Let's say, for example, that I want to activate the upper 2, then lower 2, then upper 1, and finally lower 1. Then I just add the required prefixes to these theme node cards. A simple cycle script will detect the change and be ready to cycle the themes in a matter of seconds. There, now let's experiment with this simple setup. As you can see, the themes are activated as expected. Now let's have a quick look at another standard client that will produce a menu when the object is touched. It's called Theme-O-Matic Auto Menu. As the name suggests, the menu will be created automatically from the theme.card names. To try it, let's just remove our Theme-O-Matic simple cycle and install the Theme-O-Matic Auto Menu instead. Again, a quick look at the script shows a few settings, all located at the start of the script and abundantly commented. Let's not touch anything in this simple tutorial, just make sure that the prefix here is correct with respect to our node card names. OK, done. Now let's try this by touching the object. As you can see, the node cards are detected and the menu was created automatically. Also note that inside the menu, the prefix is stripped from the node card names. There are many things that can be customized by editing other settings in the script. Try it, it's easy. Of course, when you click a node card name, the corresponding theme is activated as expected. Also note that the menu is automatically organized in pages of 9 buttons and that the required next and previous buttons will appear as required. Now remember that our bench uses AVSitter to manage the poses of avatars sitting on it. It would be nice if we could integrate our themes inside AVSitter's menu itself. Actually, this is easy to do by telling AVSitter to send a message to the Theme-O-Matic when certain buttons are pressed. Doing so involves AVSitter button directive as described on their website, and thus we do not actually require a clean script for basic usage. I will not go into deeper details here, but everything is described on the Theme-O-Matic website. The Theme-O-Matic also ships with a specialized client script called AVSitter Menu for more elaborate setups with AVSitter. We will use it later in this video to show a more elaborate example. All the client scripts I mentioned up to now are activating themes by sending a special message to the TOM core saying, please apply this theme. What the TOM core then does is read the theme node card one line at a time and apply the theme as it is read. This is a good way because it requires only one script and it can theoretically apply very big themes. But there is one big drawback. Reading a theme node cards is a rather slow process in Second Life, and if your theme is really big, it can make the whole process unbearable. We have a solution to that called preloaders. Preloading a theme means splitting the process in two operations. The theme is loaded once from a node card into a dedicated script called a preloader, and the preloader keeps it ready for immediate activation when the client demands it. Experience has shown that complex themes, once preloaded, can be applied in the blink of an eye, literally. So this is a very effective way to apply themes with two small drawbacks. It uses one extra script to store each theme and have it ready for immediate activation, and very long themes might just not fit a single script memory. Still, preloaders that were introduced in version 2.0 the Theme-O-Matic have proven to be very effective by dramatically increase the reactivity of the whole system. I even witnessed a creator who had set up multiple Theme-O-Matic instances with preloaders commanded by a single remote control to retexture a whole island from day to night and vice versa. In the rest of this video, I will show you how to set up 4 preloaders to hold all our previously created themes and have them activated by one of the preloader aware client script shipping with the Theme-O-Matic. Again, while it is fully functional, you can also consider this full perm client script as an example to include the functionality into your own scripts if you wish to. First, let's set up our bench. I remove the previous non-preloading client script. And since we have 4 themes and we want to preload them all, we need 4 copies of the TOM preloader script. AVSitter will take care of the necessary renaming so that 2 scripts will never have the same name in the object's inventory. We do not have to worry about that. Now we need a client script to tell each preloader which theme it should preload, and later when each preloader should activate its theme. Note that there exists an auto-preloading feature consisting in naming your node cores in a certain way. I will not use it in this video, but you can read about it on the website. Here I chose to install a more elaborate interface of the Theme-O-Matic with AVSitter. This is managed by the client script called TOMSC AVSitter menu. Let's drop it into the object inventory. Of course, we will have to configure a few things in there. Quite a few parameters exist in this script, but don't worry, there are many commands to help you. First, you can notice 2 parameters prefixed with link message _. We will not need to change those, just remember them for the AVSitter configuration later. Then we have a few parameters related to the menu settings. We will just leave with their defaults. Further down, we have an important list called preload. This list is used when the script starts to assign each preloader a particular theme. Since we want the preloaders to preload each of our themes, we will fill this list with the preloader numbers from 1 to 4 and our theme names, as described in the comments. Pay attention to the quotes and the spelling, of course. Here we define the buttons that will appear in the menu created by AVSitter menu. This is a list of pairs made by the button labels for the menu and either the theme name, if we choose not to use preloaders, or the preloader number to activate. Since we are only using preloaded themes, we are just assigning the buttons to the preloader numbers 1 to 4. Then we have a few other parameters ranging from special button labels to verbosity level to other details described in the comments. Let's just pay attention to the close_sendMessage parameter that we are setting to true so that AVSitter's menu reopens when we close our special menu. Note that as soon as I save the script, it boots and tells the preloaders to preload their dedicated themes. Now we need a way to tell AVSitter to create a button that will open our special menu as part of their own AVSitter menu. This is done by setting a button directive with the parameters mentioned at the beginning of the script. Remember, it was the number 42 and the string pop. Of course, you are free to change these as long as they match the settings in the script. Let's do that now by modifying the AVSitter.card. You are of course completely free to organize the menu as you wish, just try to be logical. Okay, this is done. We just need to let AVSitter reload its settings and we'll be ready on our way. Note that applying the themes is now an immediate thing because they are all preloaded into script memory. Other client systems, like a remote control suitable for a HUD for example, are described on the website, as well as developer information to use in your own scripts. I hope you enjoyed this video, which showed just a few examples of how you can use the themes in your own objects. As always, inquiries are welcome. Do not hesitate to contact me for any question or custom script or whatever. Goodbye and have fun with the Theme-O-Matic.